Sorry, the mailman just interrupted me. So yeah, if for 2 people, this is super perfect. And the cool thing is when you put the bed down, then there's additional storage back there, which we had a water jug down there. We actually have a homemade sink faucet, which I'll show you. I will be happy to throw that in if people do the buy it now. If not, we'll keep that because we have another truck. So we do have red LED lighting, if you can see there, which is very handy when you're trying to set up the bed or whatever. But for 2 people, it's awesome. It's very, very sturdy. And then when you want to go back, there's that red lever here, which you basically press and the whole thing goes back. And there are 3 kind of settings where you can click. You can leave it here, you can click it. You heard there the different clickings. So the table actually we store behind this, and we have plenty of room in here. We've had a collapsed inflatable paddle board in here, 2 dogs, and then the other storage thing, which is really cool with this van, is the front seat. You can see it's spanking brand new. It's in great condition. And we haven't detailed it. You can still see a couple of hairs from our dog. Is you can, for this side, the passenger side, you can move it forward with this guy, and there's another lever on the other side, and that allows you to collapse it completely flat. And so what we do is we have, when we make up the bed and we're sleeping, we have that room down here. We have this flat, and we also have this space here that we utilize. It's a typical Nv200, super good on gas mileage. Like, it's probably the best car I've had, apart from an electric car that has great gas mileage. We've driven this up to Northern California. Heater is amazing. The air condition blows really cold. It's been to Death Valley with no problems. Has airbags. The stereo system has hands-free calling and has an auxiliary in if you want to plug your iPod in there. It has a little cubby up top here. It's very easy. The transmission is a CVT, which is super smooth. The seats are really comfortable for long drives. You have a cubby down there. I'm not going to do a review on the actual car, but there are no mechanical issues with the car. The car is in great condition. The windshield's in great condition. The reason why we get rid of it is parking is a premium here in where we live, and we need the parking space, and we're not utilizing it that much. What would we upgrade on it? We would probably put bungees through here, but you know, anybody can do that. That's pretty straightforward. All the wood is painted and sealed, so I'm not sure if that shows up on the video. We've thought about replacing this with a double din with Apple CarPlay. Quite honestly, we just plug in the iPod with the auxiliary and it's fine. And so that's it. Everything works on it. There are, no mechanical issues. Like I said, no rust. Obviously, the car's got very low miles. The person who had it before me bought it as a little hauler, and when I purchased this, it had no signs of hauling anything. So it made it really easy to essentially put the insulation, which is above 2, and then the carpet on top. Like I said, we've left that to reflect some light, and on that side you can finish it. It's pretty easy. You just spray adhesive and you get it done. This is the real game changer, this bed. It cost me more than I'd like to admit to get it, but it's amazing. And then obviously once we got the bed, I was able to measure everything so that the bed could slide and everything could fit. That fridge fits perfectly there. All the wiring is done with fuses, etc. I've done several Volkswagen vans and a bunch of other 4x4 overlanding builds. This was probably the most fun I've had, and I honestly wish we weren't selling it. The diesel heater is awesome, but quite honestly, you really only need it when it's super, 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 super cold, like near freezing, because the car is so well insulated, the van, that 2 people in here, and we don't even use a sleeping bag. We use a rumple blanket it's more than enough. If anything, what we do is I've installed these coverings so that way we can crack the window 2 inches and nobody can see that, and you got airflow, and if it rains, you know, nothing happens. So tires still got pretty good life on them. It has these cool rims that the previous owner put in, and that's about it. On this side, again, van's in great nick. White is hard to keep clean, I'll be honest, but that's probably one of the only drawbacks I can think of. Registration till May 2020. And I really hope that somebody who is looking at doing a cross-country trip, I've done a couple of long trips on motorcycles and stuff, and if I was looking at doing a cross-country trip, or even going down to Central America, this would be a great car. It would be absolutely wicked for one person and their dog. I think that would be primo, but for a couple, if they're not, you know, hyper tall, and by hyper tall, I'm 5'8", and my toes don't stick out of this bed. But if you're a 6 foot, you're going to have your toes sticking out, and maybe you care about that, maybe you don't. But it would be a great car to put stuff in on the bottom, load up the fridge. It doesn't have a stove. If you hit the Buy It Now price, we have a single burner butane stove. It's not one of the cheapy ones, it's a Japanese branded one, but we've used that, and we use it quite often, and we'll throw that in. Also, FYI, we are about 5 minutes from the San Francisco airport, and so I've sold FJ40s that I've built up, a couple of Volkswagen vans, as I mentioned, and we've always had folks come out, fly in. We'll load up the fridge with a couple of snacks and stuff, make sure it's got full of gas, do the paperwork, and then you can drive back. We've had people from Texas, we've had people from Southern California, we've had one couple from Canada, and even one of my really nice Volkswagen buses was actually shipped to Germany. So if you're looking to do a road trip within North America, you want to buy this car, hit the Buy It Now price. There is a minimum, which I will, a reserve, which I'll note on the listing. I've just got to get that so I can, at a minimum, break even. I'll make a loss because my time and effort built on this, and this is super expensive. I will never see that back. But I want it to go to a good home, somebody who will enjoy it. The car doesn't have a lot of mileage. It's noted on the listing, and it's very easy to drive. Like for a female solo traveler, this would be just incredible. We have thought about putting a pop top, but we've had pop tops before, and not only do you, which would be great because you could stand here, but quite honestly, the amount of heat you lose in cold climate up there, you have to have that thing on all the time, and we didn't want to do that. And plus, we want to spend more time outside, so we usually have collapsible chairs behind the couch. And we even grab this rug and pull it out, and if it's dirt, and hang out there and have a picnic or whatever. So that's it. I hope it goes to a good home, and any questions, feel free to ask, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.